I'm so excited to be sharing with you my piggyback paintings. This is the finished piece, and I have been doing this literally since I was a child. I cannot find the original photo that I took of this painting. It's pretty large, it's about 4 feet by 3 feet. And it was a painting of these two old women. It was kind of like this um, wood cabin sort of background. You can see it a little bit here, even though I've put the collage pieces on top, but you can kind of see what it looked like before. And I, so what I do is the first thing I do is kind of decide what I want the painting to become. And I am very interested in sort of psychological dream spaces, very surreal paintings with kind of a lot of meaning, like symbols and meaning to them. So I will go to my paper and collage collections of things and magazines, books, and cut out and go through all of that first. And I will put and lay these pieces down on this piece. So as I'm laying them down, little tip for you, I use the low stick tape on the pieces to kind of hold them onto the canvas, because all it takes is a dog coming by to knock it, or a fan being turned on in the room, or something of this nature to blow away all of your pieces. And it's very frustrating when you have them on there perfectly. And I've done this so many times that now I definitely, like, you can see the little yellow pieces of tape. Now, if you take that tape and you stick it onto your shirt or your pants a few times, it also will take off more of the sticky. So you just need enough sticky to kind of stick it down, because I do like to continue to move things around as I'm working on a piece. The other thing is that a lot of times, as you can see, I'm a little bit struggling with getting this to stick down, because some of the magazine or book pages were a little thicker than some of the other ones. So once I put my Mod Podge down, I was really having to kind of continue to encourage it to stay down, especially if you're working on a canvas. It's not a solid surface. It's, has a little bit of stretch to it. So you might have to put your hand underneath and push from the back and front, and just make sure that gets down. But usually once it's down, it's good. And here again, with this type of work, I'm not looking for perfection, or trying to, get no wrinkles or anything like that. I've got many diverse pieces of papers, and I'm taking all that texture and different things are a part of my painting and process. So here I wanted to mention that I have been doing piggyback paintings for most of my life. Starting as a child, my mother used to bring me magazines and different things, and I would collage with them when I was sick and home from school. It kind of gave me something to do, kept my mind off things. So, it was something that was accessible, affordable. And then as I got older and became an artist, I did come from a very poor family, and I realized that materials for making art were very expensive when I would go to the art store. So it was that I would go to the local Goodwill and find a painting and paint over it normally, because I was doing my own paintings and my own things at the time. And then later on, I started to really enjoy seeing the paintings that other people had done and thinking about the fact that maybe I wanted to sort of memorialize the people that had done the painting, if I could incorporate it into my own work. So in that way, sort of piggybacking on what they did. And being that a great love of mine is obviously thrifting, going to estate sales and Goodwill, I find a lot of these paintings, a lot of people who started painting late in life and were maybe not too bad, but were never going to be famous artists. And there's lots and lots and lots of these paintings. And I found it kind of sad that they were basically discarded and unwanted. And I thought, how can I give them a new life and sort of take that person's labor and make it seen? So that's kind of where I went with that. And I do want to say that I did see the CBS Sunday Morning interview of Jason Jones, and I want to say that he is very clever and he does very interesting work. But also, I want to say, as a feminist, there are many, many, many people and women doing this work at the level that he is, and possibly better, that have not been recognized. And I just wanted to say that classically, men have been in the spotlight as artists, and women have been passed over. And so I just want to make a mention that while he is an artist that uses this technique, that, by no means did he make this up, or did he, or is he the best at it? But very good. And, congratulations for his success. It is very difficult as an artist to make money and to survive. I myself work 3 different jobs and always have, and put myself through school. So it has not been easy, but I have also not given up. And so I would say to anybody out there who's struggling, is what I'm doing, Matt, does it matter at all? Does anybody care? The thing about it is, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but it really doesn't matter, because what matters is how you feel about it and how it makes you move forward in life, and to share your creativity if you want to. Some people don't necessarily want to. But I think it's a very important action that we do in our society to keep that part of us open and flowing. It's definitely like a muscle that you flex, and you will get better as you do it more. The things that I'm doing now are not things that I started in the last 6 months. I have been doing it for a lifetime. I also did put myself through art school and many, many years of different types of workshops, and have always continued to work on developing my art. It has been a way for me to, keep my mental health well. And anytime I'm going through something, if I can bury myself in art, express those feelings, upsets, depressions through the art, has been a way for me to get through it and keep going. And I hope that art can be that for you. as well. Just keep going, girls and boys. I mean, I know the boys are out there too, but sometimes us girls need sisters to encourage and pat them on the back and cheer them on, because the world is still very difficult for women. This is a little beauty that I found out in the Texas heat at a flea market, and this is the transformation. You can see that I changed it from day to nighttime, added more clouds and lots of different elements to change the mood. Same with this one, very sort of creepy photo of a house out in the middle of nowhere, kind of sad and cast aside. It was actually had a rip in it as well that I fixed. So it was kind of a double save from the trash. This is one I did find at Goodwill on one of my vacations, and I love to vacation and go to thrift stores in different areas. And here you can see I've changed the perspective. You've got this sort of 1950s family with birds that should not be that large, sort of taking over their dinner time table. The heart in the middle, sort of the heart of the family, and the nest in the heart, nesting. You've got predators, cats that are kind of climbing around after the birds, but the birds seem unaware of what's going on. And then you have the mother, and the woman is looking towards the viewer, kind of all knowing and seemingly sort of quietly holding the family together, even though it seems like the man of the family is taking over the conversation with the child, and also the child being male. She may be sensitive to what he is teaching him or training him, whereas there's just a lot of tension. If you also look over the top, you've kind of got an angel looking over with some blood platelets that she's carrying, with lots of moons, and then a man that is kind of looking closely on with some sort of telescope, as to be saying possibly, make sure you're training the right things. So anyways, this one has a lot of symbolism, as all of mine do. It's very important to me that there's a message, and it does help me to express myself and maybe some of the things that I have grievances with in the world. So back to gluing down here. This is a long process. It takes several days for me to do this. And then I do paint over the top if I want to add things, and just continue to layer all of the things that I have there that are taped down, or move them around. I have a very deep love of the ocean. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and we were probably about 45 minutes from the ocean or the rivers, and it was very beautiful there. This painting is very formula, sort of Bob Ross-ish, so I loved it. And here is what I made it into. this sort of empowered woman taking down the ship and taking away the pirates and passengers and taking these ne'er-do-wells out of their crime spree and into their watery grave. So here there was no cat body, just the cat head. So I started putting this in with some white chalk paint and just sort of carefully painting around all the flowers and different things. This gives me a nice white base coat that I could start adding some of the colors that the cat already has in the face.